All right, so you're here because you want to learn something new, right? And you want to do it quickly. Like, get to the good stuff without wading through a ton of information.
Exactly. We all want that shortcut, don't we?
Well, think of this as your express lane to understanding yourself, like really deeply, and how that knowledge helps you thrive out there in the world,
That sounds pretty great.
doesn't it? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the RutherfordINTEL.io personality assessment app, along with these big ideas of self-awareness and, the importance of community.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Right. And to make it all super practical, we're going to focus on one personality type in particular as kind of a case study, the altruist.
Interesting. I'm already curious to hear more about that.
You and me both. Our goal today is to cut through all the noise, and give you the most important stuff about how understanding yourself, maybe with the help of tools like this Rutherford Intel app and being part of a supportive community, can really make a difference in your life.
Yeah, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely. So let's start with the RutherfordINTEL.io app itself. This isn't just some quick online quiz. This thing uses serious analytics to give you a really complete picture of your personality.
So it's more in-depth than what we usually see online.
Way more. But get this, it doesn't stop there. Rutherford Intel actually offers personalized guidance from mentors and coaches to help you with your career. It's like having your own personal cheer squad guiding you along.
That's a pretty cool feature. I mean, having someone who understands your personality type to help you with your career choices, that could be a real game changer.
And that brings us to the core idea behind the whole thing, right? Self-understanding is absolutely crucial for living a fulfilling life. It's like the foundation.
And all the material we looked at really drives home just how wide-ranging the benefits are when you really know your personality type, which is what this app helps you do. It's not just one thing. It's like a domino effect.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
Well, like when you understand yourself, you boost your self-esteem, right? And that's the starting point for so much else. It also leads to being more satisfied at work. If your job fits your natural tendencies, you're going to be more engaged and happy.
Makes sense. That's huge. And it's not just about feeling good, though. Understanding yourself makes you better at connecting with people. Your relationships, both personal and professional, become stronger. You make smarter decisions, you feel more confident, and you can even figure out what career path really aligns with your values and what you're passionate about. It's like finding that sweet spot where what you do and who you are just click.
I love that. It's about aligning everything in your life. And what's really interesting is how this app connects to a much bigger vision. Rutherford International's purpose is actually pretty ambitious. They want to, and I'm quoting here, foster a world of mutually supportive professionals where possibilities are endless and every individual is empowered.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement. But when you break it down, you can totally see how self-awareness is like step one in making that happen.
Absolutely. Each part of that statement is really intentional. Like mutually supportive professionals. It's not just networking, right? The research we've looked at shows how much we grow both as people and in our careers when we collaborate and have a supportive community.
Yeah, it's about finding people who get you, who can give you a different perspective, and who are there to support you as you figure things out. So Rutherford's International isn't just about getting people jobs. They're trying to build a whole community of strong individuals who help each other succeed.
Right, and think about the impact of mentors, coaches, or even just a great group of peers. When you have people around you who understand and support you, your self-awareness gets even stronger. You get feedback, you see how your personality works in different situations, and you learn from everyone's experiences.
That's so true. It's a cycle of growth. And then there's endless possibilities. That part really speaks to the power of understanding yourself. When you know your strengths, your values, and what lights you up, you start seeing opportunities you might have missed before.
Yeah, it's like opening up a well of potential within you. And that brings us to the last part, empowered individuals. When you really know yourself, you believe in yourself more. You make choices that are true to who you are, not what others expect. You become the driver of your own journey.
I like that. And behind this whole vision is Forbes Rutherford himself, who's been in the executive search business for over 30 years. But he's not just about filling positions. He's about creating something much deeper. Self-awareness, authentic connections, and real support among professionals who are striving to be their best.
And you can see this philosophy on his website, RutherfordInternational.com. He believes that when people grow, everyone benefits. It's a collective thing.
And the Rutherford Intel app is a perfect example of that, right? It's about building a community where everyone supports each other and helps unlock each other's potential. It's not just about individual success, it's about making entire industries better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all this brings us to the most fundamental concept we're talking about, self-awareness. Our sources are crystal clear on this. Self-awareness is the foundation, the absolute starting point for any kind of growth, personally or professionally. It's essential for being a good leader, for being productive, and for moving forward in your career. It's like the secret sauce.
It's like the basic recipe for success. And when you really understand yourself, you discover hidden strengths you didn't even know you had. You become more aware of your weaknesses, not in a bad way, but as areas where you can improve. That's how you start reaching your full potential.
Right. And it's not just about looking inward. Self-awareness also means understanding how your actions affect others. It's about making thoughtful decisions, building strong relationships, and navigating all the different personalities you encounter at work.
It's like being able to read the room, right? And understand how you fit in. And all this self-understanding leads to some pretty amazing benefits. For leaders, it means having better intuition about their team members. They can spot strengths and potential, which helps the whole organization perform better.
And it goes way beyond work, too. Knowing yourself makes your personal life better. You communicate more effectively, your relationships become deeper, you make better decisions overall. Plus, it boosts your self-esteem and confidence, and it helps you find a career that you actually care about. It's about living a more authentic and fulfilling life.
And the research shows a clear link between self-awareness and the economy as a whole. When people aren't self-aware, it can lead to unhappy employees, miscommunication, and bad leadership, which hurts productivity. But when people are self-aware, they're more optimistic, they make better decisions, and the economy benefits.
And there are specific benefits for leaders, too. Self-aware leaders are more optimistic about challenges because they're less likely to be caught off guard by their own limitations. They're also better at resolving conflicts, which builds trust.
A self-aware leader is a better leader, period. They get more done, they encourage creativity, and they create a more authentic work environment. And they can do all this because they understand themselves and their team members.
Now, to help us understand all the different parts of personality, the Rutherford Intel system has these core 12 personalities organized into 4 groups. It's a really helpful way to think about how people see the world and interact with it.
Yeah, it's like a roadmap of human personality. The research talks about 3 main leadership personality types: the opportunist, the holistic, and the result-driven. These are the folks who often naturally have what it takes to be great leaders.
Then there are the 3 intellectual personalities.
Yes.
The analytic, the imaginative, and the insightful. It's fascinating that the research even mentions how genetics plays a role in intelligence. Like, there are specific genes involved.
It's a reminder of how complex we are. Then there's the interpersonal stuff, which is where the altruist fits in. There are 3 types: the altruist, the social, and the individualist. This helps us understand the different ways people connect with each other.
And lastly, there are the productive personality types: the process-driven, the inventive, and the responsible. These describe how people approach work and what helps them achieve their goals. So these 4 groups, leadership, intellectual, interpersonal, and productive, cover the 12 personalities in the Rutherford Intel system.
I see. It's a pretty comprehensive system. And what's really interesting is the idea of personality DNA science. The Rutherford Intel system wants to capture all the different ways people are, looking at the traits that drive our achievements and also our challenges.
Yeah, personality DNA science is this idea that our personality is deeply rooted and affects our behavior, kind of like our DNA affects our physical traits.
I get it. It's like our personality blueprint. And recognizing that we're all different is so important. It's what drives progress in technology, art, science, everything.
Absolutely. But it also plays a role in the tough stuff we face, like social and environmental issues. So understanding our differences and using them in a good way is key.
Which leads us to the altruist personality, one of the interpersonal types. We're going to dive into this one to show how understanding a specific type can be really helpful. The research looks at good career paths for altruists, the relationships they do well in, how important self-awareness is for them, how they lead and communicate, and even their diet and wellness.
You know, another way to think about the altruist is as the empathetic communicator. They're kind and empathetic in everything they do.
That's a great description. And guess what? Being this way actually benefits their health. It's like giving back is good for you.
It is. A study from 2013 found that going through stressful things was more likely to lead to health problems for people who didn't help others. But for people who were helpful and generous, it didn't have the same effect. Basically, Being helpful is a better predictor of health than even social engagement.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Right. And doing kind things and helping others makes people feel like their lives have meaning. It boosts self-esteem, makes people happier, and even improves mental and physical health in the long run. There's even this idea of a helper's high, like a rush of good feelings you get after being kind.
I've definitely felt that before. It's a great feeling. Of course, the research also says that too much caregiving can be bad, but if it's manageable and the person you're helping is grateful, it can be healthy.
It's about finding that balance. And here's an interesting thing about altruists. They often have trouble accepting help themselves. It's a good reminder that we should treat ourselves with the same kindness we offer others.
Yeah, that's important. And as the empathetic communicator, the altruist shows kindness and empathy in everything they do. They inspire others to be compassionate and create supportive environments. They lead by example, like the Boy Scouts motto, do a good deed every day.
And speaking of leading by example, they should really focus on having face-to-face conversations. Connecting with people in person shows you care, and it's a better way to share your beliefs. Even if you can't meet face-to-face, putting your feelings into emails, not just facts, is a good way to go. It's about making that extra effort to show you care.
And this whole altruistic thing plays a huge role in romantic relationships. It turns out it's super important for both being happy in a marriage and for choosing the right partner in the first place. It even challenges the idea that looks are the most important thing.
Seriously. Research has found that people who are known for being generous and altruistic are much more likely to have really happy marriages. And if you listen to couples who are happy, they often say things like, I'd rather suffer myself than see my partner suffer.
It's about putting the other person first. And there's research that shows women specifically look for selflessness in a long-term partner.
And get this, a study in Germany found that being altruistic can actually make you more likely to find a romantic partner. And people who are altruistic tend to have more partners, both over their lifetime and recently.
That's surprising.
I know, right? The study even concluded that if you could only choose one trait, attractiveness or altruism is more valuable in relationships.
Wow. So let's wrap this up for our listeners. What have we learned today? We talked about how the RutherfordINTEL app helps you become more self-aware, which is essential for growing as a person and in your career. We saw how understanding personality types, especially the altruist, can teach you a lot about relationships, careers, and well-being.
Exactly. We also talked about how being part of a supportive community helps you grow even more. You should now have a good grasp of how important self-awareness is, how powerful personality assessments like this one can be, and how valuable it is to have people supporting you.
So here's what we want you to do. Try out the RutherfordINTEL.io assessment yourself. It's a chance to unlock your potential and really get to know yourself. And if you're in a relationship, encourage your partner to take it too. It could help you connect on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought for you to chew on. You now know how important it is to understand yourself and others. So think about how becoming more self-aware and more giving could change your life and the communities you're a part of. What's one small step you could take today to move in that direction? It's a question that could lead to some amazing discoveries.
And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.